You're spending a lot of time trying to get back with your ex, a lot of energy trying to get back with your ex, but maybe you shouldn't get back with your ex. This is what I'm going to cover in this video. There are 9 signs, not 5, but 9 signs that you shouldn't get back with them, and I'm pretty sure I can bet you don't know the last 2, so I kept them at the end. Before I move on, just to remind you, there's a quiz to know if you have any chance to get back with your ex. It takes 2 minutes. I left the link in the first comment of the video. So the first one, they have an addiction. They have an addiction, alcohol addiction, drug addiction. This is not good for you. This is not good for them. Because the thing is, often, especially with alcohol, they tend to minimize. Like they would say, everybody drinks. So I drink, it's fine. You know, who cares? But the impact of addiction in a couple is that they won't have that emotional space, because they would have, in terms of their priority, they will have alcohol in couple with alcohol, and then with you if I take alcohol, but it could be any drugs. So on this one, really be mindful and trust your instinct. And if they're not willing to get some help, that might not be the right person for you right now. Understand if their addiction has more space than yourself in that relationship. The second one is legal request. It's a bit obvious, whether they block you, they have a restraining order. Sometimes we tend to over dramatize things, like we text our ex and they, 10 times, and they say like, yeah, don't talk to me anymore, or I call the police. In that case, of course, they overdo it, but you have to understand to stop for a moment and accept that maybe you're trying too much, you're spamming your ex, because first, it's going to damage any chance you have to get back with them. And second, it's going to damage all the chance you get to get back with your ex. However, if you feel that your ex doesn't know how to set limits, maybe she's or he's not the right person for you. Inability to commit. So maybe they lie, maybe it's all about deception. You can see that in your relationship, there's no evolution. They are still the same, they don't want to commit. Think, reflect, what is your goal? Do you want to have a relationship with someone who's committed, a relationship with someone who wants to raise a family or grow old together, or just dating around and not having any commitment, for example, not living together, or not having projects together? Really, really ask yourself that questions, because sometimes I've seen so many people trying to get back with their ex, but their visions were so different. On one hand, the person was just looking for casual dating, and the other hand, the other one wanted a full committed relationship. And so sometimes if we analyze the ex, it's all about, there's something in their childhood, maybe a trauma, maybe their parent got divorced, or maybe their mom raised them alone, and they have that fear of commitment. Maybe there's something that triggered that fear of commitment. If that person, if your ex is not willing to get some help, see a therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, to help them out, understanding their trauma and fixing that fear of commitment, then there's no way it's going to work for you. So again, try to see if they can seek for help. And the last thing is, if your relationship was, constant conflict, arguments, nothing would be created from chaos. Nothing substantial, nothing strong would be created from chaos. So they have to fix, first of all, what is causing their trauma. Why do you have that fear? Because the fear is always in the subconscious part of the mind. So what is creating that fear? And then you can start with strong foundation. Now the number 4 is psychological problem, and they will refuse to get help. So it could be bipolar, could be people who say they are borderline. So I've had like a lot of cases where women would say, my boyfriend is borderline. So no, it's not borderline. Yeah. Assess and don't try to minimize their behavior. You want someone who is moving on. You want someone who is positive. You want someone that would help you grow as a person, not someone who's borderline. If they are bipolar, try to get them to have some help, because you can't help them if they are bipolar. Get them to see a specialist if they have psychosis or things like that, help them. If they are depressed, they're through depression, of course you can support them, but you're not a psychiatrist or you're not a psychologist, so get help for them, because it's the only way you can be back together and have a strong relationship, is that you're both ready, your mind is ready to be in a couple. If they have, very strong psychological problem, there's no way you can get back together. You shouldn't get back with someone who's not ready to get treatment for that, because you have to deal with it. If they don't deal with it, there's no point getting back with them. 5, your ex doesn't act like an adult. Very common amongst boys. It's probably the most important. Yeah. So what are they doing in life? Do they only make childish decisions or wise decisions? Do they imply, do they have you in their decision? Are they acting, are they making any effort? Or are you only the one suggesting things for the house, for the holidays? Are they just like pretending like, she or he will do it? So it's often a guy who act like that. So they would always say like, she would take care of the house, she would take care of the kids, she would take care of holidays. That's her thing, because my mom was like that. So lack of autonomy. As I said, they just drive, in the passenger seat and you're driving and you have all the thing. So do you want to really have a relationship with the person like that? You feel that you're talking at the same level, that you're acting at the same level. Maybe you're the adult and they're the child. So are you ready for that relationship? Do you really want to get back with someone like that? Ask yourself that question. So yeah, if you feel that they're, very much the child and you're the adult in the relationship, and you feel that you have to be the parent in the house, ask yourself the question whether you should or should not get back with them. So the manipulation, very common as well. So distortion, calculation, you can see that they make you do things that you don't necessarily want to do. You sometimes realize that, okay, I'm going to that place, I'm going to the holidays, but it's not really what I wanted. Maybe it could be very, bigger, like now I have to do this religion and I have to be religious, but it's not really my faith, or I'm not really interested in that topic. Maybe you could see that friends are seeing you differently. They tell you like, oh, you've changed, but not in the right way, in a really wrong way, like it's sort of a red flag. So for you, really try to understand whether you've changed as a result of that relationship, and whether you accept that change, whether you can recognize yourself in that new person. Number 7, over-adapting yourself to a person who doesn't fit you. So, what I mean is activities, daily life, friends, vacations. Again, if you find yourself trying to always adapt, trying to always be the person fitting their needs, trying to fit the square into a round shape, this is not going to be sustainable for you, because at some point you're going to burn out. You're going to realize in 20 years, that's not the life I wanted, that's not where I wanted to live, that's not what I wanted to do with my kids, that's not the holidays I've planned, that's not the lifestyle I've planned. If you pause for a second your relationship and see whether this is what you've expected in life, if you were just single and trying to plan your relationship, would you have done all those choices? Of course, a couple is all about understanding each other and finding compromise, but are you the only one making compromise at this stage? If that's the case, ask yourself the question, do I really want to get back with someone like that? With someone who would force me to make choice? Sometimes it could be yourself trying to be a yes person, which is very good in some kind of occasion, but as I mentioned in one of my videos, the strongest word in a relationship is no, because no really helps you to show where you stand for, to show what you value, to show what matters to you. Okay, so if you're not able to say no in your relationship, there's no point you should get back with that person, because it's not healthy, it's toxic. The number 8, your ex is hostile, and it's according to your friends. So again, we try to have a very subjective, not a subjective, an objective view on the matter. So if your friends see that your ex is hostile, then that's a sign that you shouldn't be together. So You always have the dirty role. I say, like, you're the one like yelling, you're the one complaining, you're the one preventing him from doing things or preventing her from doing things. You can see that you've lost friends as a result of that relationship. You can feel that they have the power. They have the power to decide what to do. Those friends you see, you know, as I mentioned, so no desires to meet others. So you sort of isolate from the others. Hence that hostility between you and them. You really want to be with a person that would cut you from your friends, that will sort of get into fights constantly, and that would feel and need that power in that relationship? Ask yourself that question. And the last one, no, before I move on, sorry, yeah, because a relationship is 50-50. A lot of people would say, they would put the blame on you. And they say, yeah, you've done so many bad things. It's not going to work because of you. A relationship is 50-50. Of course, we might have done bad things, but the relationship, the way it works and how a relationship would work is both will make an effort. So you have to let them acknowledge that they have to share part of the responsibility for that breakup. Of course, there's something that triggered and maybe it came from you, but they have to share the responsibility of that breakup. If they're not willing to change, nothing will make change. Then you'll be stuck in the fact of solving it wrongly, because basically you're going to try to fix something that doesn't work. So again, try to avoid a relationship where the other is not willing to reflect and see what he or she was wrong about. And the last one is the mixed messages. So your ex is confused, and I've had that case, that's why I put that example. We bought tickets for a trip. We don't want to lose the tickets, so we're going on holidays together. So we're not together, but we're going on holidays together. Or cases where you say, I love you more. Oh no, I hate you, I love you. So sort of lots of mixed messages where you can feel that your ex doesn't really know where to stand. This is really, really, really toxic if it lasts over a long period of time. You can say that it's sort of a form of manipulation, trying to keep you on the hook. It could be a narcissist way of dealing with things. Again, do you want to be with someone who's like that? Ask yourself a question. I hope that was helpful. Usually I share video to help you get back with your ex. This one is a bit specific, but sometimes you might be putting energy in the wrong aspect of your life. If you have any comments, if you actually want to share some stories, feel free to comment on the video. I'll see you next time.